Hi guys, Dave here. Dave's LFC Chats. I've got a legend with me today. I've got him. I've eventually got him. It was a hard job. Callum Sanderson from the Kop-ish. Welcome to the show, Callum.
Oh, thank you, Dave, so much for having me. Yeah, thanks for your patience, man. It's been crazy few months and stuff. We've been trying to sort this out for ages, and you've been really patient. So thanks, firstly for having me on, and thanks for being patient, man.
No problem. I know you're busy, man. We were talking a few minutes ago. I mean, the Kop-ish, your channel with Drifty and Matt, it's grown, and it's probably a busy man now with it. You're doing really well.
Yeah, it is. We've been really fortunate. I mean, we've been able to get grow some subscribers, especially since sort of the start of the season as well. And yeah, being fortunate to do collabs with the likes of yourself, and I mean, we managed to get Sander Westerveld on, so we've been really fortunate so far.
Wow.
Season's gone, so hopefully it continues, and then your channel catches us up, and we have.
I don't know about that. You might have Klopp on or someone next. You never know. But I'll tell you another thing before we get into Liverpool stuff is a bit of sad news. Obviously, yesterday, Gerard Houllier, ex-Liverpool manager, passed away at the age of 73. I mean, everybody will remember Gerard Houllier. If you're as old as me, 2001 was the big year, the treble. We call it the treble winning year: League Cup, FA Cup, and of course UEFA Cup at the time. I mean, what did you think? Do you remember much about Houllier?
No, I do. So Houllier was sort of the first manager where, so I was obviously born in and alive for Roy Evans, but Houllier was the first manager where I really started to understand football and the dynamics of football.
Yeah.
And he was the manager that sort of made us a good team, a great team again. Before him, we hadn't won anything since the Coca-Cola Cup in 1994. And that was the first trophy I got to see us lift. And then up until 2001, didn't see anything else. So for him to do that, and to think in one calendar year he lifted 5 trophies along with the Super Cup and the Community Shield, you've got to give the man his props. And you think of some of the legends he signed, and then some of the players he brought through: Carragher, Owen, Gerard, Houllier, Harman, Finn, like the list, Reese. The list is endless, and we lost an absolute legend, an icon of the club, and icon of football. Like the things he did behind the scenes for French football and for the RB brands and things like that, he'll be missed, and long may his legacy continue to grow and be immortalized.
Yeah, absolutely. They might even get a statue of him. You never know. But
Yeah.
Do you know what else he did? I think he did a lot of work with UEFA. I think I know he's the French manager, the international manager, but I think he did a lot of work behind the scenes with the international managers and stuff. He was a great man. Rest in peace, Gerard Houllier. Absolutely. Okay. I was going to mention Sunday's game against Fulham. I mean, it was one of our worst performances. Take out the Aston Villa 7-2, of course, but we weren't at the races, were we?
Yeah, I think you've summed that up absolutely perfectly, Dave. The Aston Villa game aside, that was the worst first half of football I've seen us play probably since, apart from the Villa game, probably since the Man City game where we got thrashed after winning.
Yeah.
It was like the first half. I was sitting there and I was thinking, okay, any minute now we'll wake up and start playing football, and it just didn't happen. And without Alisson in goal, we would have been about 2-3 down, and then God only knows what would have happened from that. In the second half, obviously, they started to sit a bit deeper and we started to come on a bit more. But it was just a really lackluster performance. And I was speaking about this game because it's weird how football is. So say, for example, we played the first game of the weekend. So let's say we had a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday and we drew one. We would have been upset by it. If we had seen the rest of the results, we would have been okay with the result. But because we were the last game after the other teams collapsed and failed to do what they needed to do, it made that result even more frustrating because we could have really capitalised on that.
Yeah, I know Spurs had drawn 1-1 with Palace earlier on, and I was saying to myself, a win here now. We play Spurs Wednesday night. We could really open up a bit of a gap. You know what I mean? I mean, we could still beat Spurs tomorrow night and there'd be the gap. But it's a weird season. I mean, it was a weird season last season, and with this coronavirus and COVID, no fans. I know there's 2,000 allowed in, different tiers in England where some allowed in, some aren't allowed in. But it's strange. It has to have an effect on the players. You see some of the results. Those results aren't normal. They're not normal.
They're not. I was going to ask you, do you think it could be a weird season? I hate to say the Leicester City winning the Premier League was a weird season because they actually deserved to win it that season.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. That was.
Yeah. Do you think we could see something like that this year?
I think it's possible, considering Liverpool have all their injuries at the moment. I think if Liverpool had their full squad, I think we'd walk it. I really think we'd win it. Fair, I would say handy, but we definitely win it. We've the strongest squad, but unfortunately, half our squad's decimated at the moment. And the likes of Southampton are up there, but I can't see them winning. They just don't have the strength and depth. If any of them get injuries in January, February, they're in trouble. No, I still think there's 3 or 4 teams that could win it. Could Spurs win it? It's possible with Mourinho as the manager. It's unlikely, but it is possible. I still think Liverpool City, even though City are off the boil, you have to think the cream would rise to the top with Liverpool and City, wouldn't you? Maybe bring in 1 or 2 players in January, both teams. But I just can't see anybody. Whoever finishes above Liverpool and City wins the league. It's as simple as that. But I'm hoping it's Liverpool. But just the way at the moment, it's hard to call. It really is. It's it's up in the air. It's up in the air.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with that. As I said, I hope it's us. And I fully echo what you said. Going into the season, I said I think we'd win the league, but I didn't think we'd walk it. But seeing how this season is, even if we had Virgil and Thiago and we had the rest of the injuries, I still think we'd walk the league.
Yeah.
Like, we are just that good, and Klopp is that good of a manager. But when you take out Virgil, we actually went for a list on our channel the other day. Literally everyone, I think, apart from Firmino and maybe, well, even Robertson had an injury with Scotland and had to have his foot bandaged in the Ajax game. But apart from Firmino, everyone's either been out through injury or COVID.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. I'm surprised you had any ink left in your pen when you had to write it down.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but I mean, like, listen, all professional clubs, every sport, everyone, a lot of people get injured. I just think it's unusual for the fact that it's key players that are being injured. And some of them, it wasn't even their fault. The likes of Van Dijk, the likes of Thiago, I mean, it wasn't their fault they were injured. I mean, even Gomez, I mean, he was away on duty with England. It wasn't even something Liverpool did. It wasn't even during a match. I think he was on his own in a corner and went over on his knee or something. So I think it's bad luck. I really do. I just think it's string of bad luck. And now Jota out for 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, that caps it all. That's wow. You know,
we really with him right now.
Yeah. I think we need a present from Santa Claus. I think we need a big present from Santa Claus. No injuries in the new year. I'd accept that from Santa. Under the tree, open the letter, no injuries, new year.
Yeah. Same here.
But okay, so we move on to the big one, the top of the table clash at Anfield tomorrow night. Liverpool Spurs. We've got a really, really good record against Spurs. As you know, we don't need to tell you about it. Champions League finals, everything. We've a really good record. What way do you think it's going to go? I know you had expressions on the other night. He was a big Spurs oozing some Spurs. He's an absolute lunatic. Oh my God. Wow. But what do you think? What's the team, or what way do you think Klopp will approach it? I suppose he has to pick whatever team he can pick, really.
In terms of options, I don't think he has many options. I mean, it sounded like Matip's not going to be ready for the game tomorrow. So I know. I think you've got to throw in Nat Phillips, because I think we need Henderson centre midfield. So back four kind of picks itself with Nat Phillips there. Alisson obviously in goal. Midfield, I think you still got to keep Jones and Wijnaldum and Henderson there. And then up front, it's the tried-and-tested front three. Like, this is probably the most predictable lineup we'll get this season because of who we have available. Kate is not fully fit. Ox has just come back from injury, so neither of them two can be in contention to start, in my opinion. And then the rest of the team is the rest of the team.
That's where Jota was a nice little bonus, because you had the front three, and if they weren't clicking, Jota was ready just to step in, and there was no problem. And not having him there now it's a big issue for me. It really is. It doesn't give us as many options. I'll tell you one man in midfield you just said there, Curtis Jones. Wow, he has come on. He has come on, hasn't he?
He's like our little secret, isn't he? Because everyone talks about your likes of Foden and Saka and Greenwood, and again, really good young players. But no one really mentions Curtis Jones apart from Liverpool fans, and we know what a talent we've got on our hands there. And if he had scored that goal when he sort of walked through the Fulham team, if he had scored that, we'd be talking about possibly the goal of the season for Liverpool.
Actually, the easiest part was the finish. The run he did, he could have picked either side and he went down the middle. You know.
Exactly. So I'm so happy he's kicked on, and there's a lot of expectation, and I think he's starting to fulfill his potential. He's still got a long way to go, obviously, but I'm really liking what I've seen so far. Curtis
I
Jones.
mean, oh yeah, absolutely. He's been a bonus, to be honest. He's been a real bonus when we needed it. I think that's the team. I didn't know. I knew Matip was touch and go for tomorrow night. It's possible he could still. You never know.
Yeah.
But it could be mind games from Klopp. But Mourinho is good at the mind games as well. Son and Kane, we've got to keep our eye on those. Those two are on fire.
Definitely.
You know.
They're probably the two best attackers this season in the league. And the
Yeah.
fact that they're both in the same team is frightening. And what I think what's great about how the game could potentially pan out is that we know how Tottenham are going to play. It's going to be soak up possession, let's soak up the pressure, and then let's try and unleash Kane and Son when we need them. So Trent's got to be Trent, and whoever plays on the right hand side of the defense has to really be on game. Because if not, we could get ripped apart. But I mean, I'm predicting a 1-1. I've got to be honest, Dave.
Are you? Okay. I'm going 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I just think Anfield, as you know, we've an unbelievable record against Spurs, unbelievable record at home. We're a different animal at Anfield. But as you say, it all depends on the team, doesn't it? What team's picked, really.
For me, it's all. As I said, even if we had Jota for this game, I'd be like, yeah, we can win this. It's just if we don't crack them with the first 11, I struggle to see how or who we bring on that could potentially change the game for us or do anything.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Yeah. Really, I always have Minamino.
I mean, do you know what? The thing is that's annoying with Minamino is we saw him play against us and he was their best player when he played against us.
Yeah.
But and again, I hope this doesn't get misconstrued. I think he's a very good footballer. I just don't think he's right for us.
Okay. I actually was delighted when we signed him. We got him for a steal, 7.5 million or something like that. I mean, a year ago, actually, in January.
Yeah.
But he hasn't, similar to Naby Keita. I mean, he hasn't. What does Klopp say about Naby Keita today? He hasn't got the rhythm. He hasn't got into the rhythm. You know what I mean? He hasn't had enough time to get into the rhythm. I think that's similar with Minamino. I think we'll hang on to Minamino for the fact that he gives you a lot of options when fit. But also, we got him at a steal. We could easily sell him for double or maybe treble. You'll always make money on him because he's quite young. So, no, I think Minamino's okay. I'm just hoping that he could do something for us. But listen, we're not going to stay on long. It's been absolutely brilliant having you. I'm going to go 2-1 the Reds tomorrow night. You're going 1-1.
Yeah.
Maybe I can come on your show sometime. We'll see what happens.
We'd love that.
Check out the Kop-ish, Callum, Matt, Drifty. I'm sure you know them well. Stay safe. Have a good Christmas. This means more.